Welcome to our video on Kami. Kami is a wonderful tool that you can use to have students annotate on top of PDFs and Google Slides and that sort of thing. But it's more than just an annotation tool. It is something that you can use to embed video tutorials so that students could watch your videos. It has a read aloud part to it so that students can get the supports they need if they need something read aloud to them. So let's explore Kami and what you can do with Kami in your classroom. The first thing you need to know is that Kami is an extension. Now, it's already pushed out for our students, so you don't have to worry about students putting it onto their computers. But for teachers, you do have to add the Kami extension, which is right up here. Okay, to check to see if you have it, because you may not see this purple K up here at the top, one thing you can do is come over to the little puzzle piece right here, which is where you go to manage your extensions. You're going to click there, and then you can find all of the ones that have the blue push pin, or see how this one's not blue, that means it's not going to show up here. The ones that I have clicked on and turned blue will show up here. If you don't see Kami listed, then you can come down and say Manage Extensions. You can see if it's here, if you have it. If you don't see it, you can always go to the Web Store, which right up here in the top left corner in my apps, I can go to Web Store, or you can type up here Chrome Web Store. You'll go here and you will see Kami is listed. You would just click on that, and mine says remove, yours would say add to Chrome. Once you have added it to Chrome, the next thing I would do is go to the puzzle piece and click on the push pin so that it's turned blue and you can see it up here. It's next going to add, or when you first click on it, it will ask you to log in and select your school. There will be a section where it says, do you use a learning management system? You're going to say yes you do, and you're going to select Schoology. All right. If you need help with that, you can contact Digital Learning or any of your digital learning specialists for help with installing and getting that on there. But let's look at Kami. So right now I'm going to let you pause the video if you need to and get Kami installed if you have not already installed it. Now would be a good time to pause the video, install that, and get it logged in and set up. But let's go ahead and everyone go to a tab on your computer and open up Kami. Now, when you have opened it up, what you're going to notice is there's lots of little things. Before we explore this, let's try to play a little bit of, I'm going to let you kind of explore as I call out some things. I'll call them out, and then I'll kind of show you where, if you can't find it, I'll show you where that would be found, and we'll kind of explore that, and then we're going to look at some additional things that you can do. So once you've opened it, see if you can figure out where would you go if you wanted to convert this to dark mode. Dark mode. A lot of people like to have theirs in dark mode. So to put it into dark mode, you can come over here to the top right corner. You're going to go to where you see your initials right there. It'll show you that you have an educational account, but right here is where you convert it to dark mode. A lot of people like to have it in dark mode. I'm not one of those people, but a lot of people do like to have that, so I'm going to turn mine back on. But that's where you go to turn it into dark mode. Now, where would you go if you wanted to add a page or start with a blank page. So what you're going to do is just click right here where it says blank page. Now, what is cool about this? Let's look at this blank page, because right now mine is defaulted onto music sheet because that's the last page I added onto something else that I was doing. But let's look at all the different pages that you can choose from. There's so many different ones. There's blank, there's lined, there's grid paper, music sheets. There's also embedded in here lots of different graphic organizers. Maybe you want a Venn diagram. Maybe you want some, a 3-column chart. So you can do any of these. The other thing you can do is you can always go and explore the library. But I'm going to go ahead and pick a blank page for now. But what I want you to also notice is you can change the portrait, the orientation. It can be from portrait to landscape. You can also decide, maybe you know ahead of time that you need 4 blank sheets. You can do that as well. And down here at the bottom, you can actually pick and choose the color of paper. I'm going to just go ahead and pick, that might be a little dark. Let's pick this one. I'm going to say save, and I'm going to say create. What is great about this blank page is students have this ability as well. They can simply open up their Kami extension, and you could do a quick exit ticket with them and have them use a text box and type and answer and tell you, maybe reflect on what you have learned from this science lab. Give me write 3 sentences explaining. This is a great way for you to practice students those short constructive responses that they have to do on STAR, is getting them to type. So a lot of people think that Kami is just a tool we use to annotate on top of worksheets or PDFs that you already have, but your students can also do blank pages and do lots of different typing and things like that. So lots of things that you can do with this. All right, let's say that you've gotten in here now, you've got that first page, and now you realize you need a second page. So all you do is scroll down to the bottom and you click on add more pages. Sure enough, this pops up. You don't have to go with blank, even though you had that first one as a blank. You could go to grid paper, you can go to lined paper. So for this one, I'm going to pick lined paper. And what I like about the lined paper is I can change the color of the lines, but I can also change my spacing. Some people like college rule, some people like, wide, and some people like, different size lines. So you can adjust that. You can also make your lines thicker as well. So I'm just going to say add, and you'll notice that it's going to add this page to my document. So I'm going to scroll down, and there you see, looks just like paper that students can buy and purchase and write on for notebooks. Okay, now let's pretend we've got this page and I need to add a sticker. Where would you go to add a sticker to your document? So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to see if you can figure out where you would go. Maybe you want to pause that video, but to find a sticker, this is a cool thing that you could add to a student document that they've already given you. So to do stickers, you go to Add Media. And then right over here, you have lots of choices on things that you can add. But stickers are found all the way at the bottom. And what is cool about these stickers, they're animated. So you can add them on. Let's just do, let's do this one. And there we go. So I have a sticker. Now, not all of them are animated, but some of them are. Okay, so I've added a sticker. The next thing is I want you to see if you can figure out how to use the dictionary. Now, some people, and I have mine toggled open in case yours is not showing the words over here. Down at the very bottom, you see this little toggle here. So I think the default might be to have it open like this. And you'd have to just put your cursor on there to see it. But your students can expand this so that they can read this. So if I want to use the dictionary, the first thing is I have to have a word on here. So I'm going to use my text box and I'm going to type the word perimeter. So I want you to type the word perimeter and see if you, oops, I got to spell it right, huh? All right, there we go. So I have the word perimeter. I'm going to move it around a little bit. Once I get it on here, I can move it with this. Okay. I can also have it read out loud to me if I need it read out loud. But if I'm going to use the dictionary, this is great for our younger learners that are struggling with maybe they're dyslexic. They could use the read aloud. But here's the dictionary. So I'm going to come over here. You notice I selected the dictionary, then I came over and selected my word. And what is cool
Perimeter
is it will read it to them, and it will even
the continuous line forming the boundary of a closed geometric figure.
So it will read the definitions as well. So this is a great way for kids to figure out the meaning of words that they may not know, and also to get help reading passages. All right. Now, so we have talked about the dictionary. Now I want you to add a shape, but I want that shape to have a dotted line. So add a shape with a dotted line. A shape using a dotted line. So I'm going to come over here to the side. I'm going to click on shapes. I'm going to find my shape here. To get the dotted line, I'm going to click on stroke type. I'm going to change it from solid to dotted, and now when I draw this, I have a shape with a dotted line. All right, now the next thing I want you to do, and you may need to pause the video each time I ask you to do something to give you a few minutes or seconds to do it, but I want you to add a musical sheet, so a music sheet. And then I want you to find some musical symbols. I do not want you to draw any musical symbols or insert a picture of a musical symbol. I want you to see if you can find the symbols. So first thing I'm going to do is come all the way down, click on more pages. I'm going to change it to music sheet. I'm going to say add. So there we have it. So where would I find those symbols? Believe it or not, they're found under equation. You go here and there we have insert symbols. So you would, and you can see some symbols that I was using the other day. Let's use this one again. So let's look at how we would insert that symbol. I'm going to click on equation. I'm going to come down here to symbol. I'm going to click once up here to get my text box started, and then I'm going to find the symbol that I want. Now, notice over here that my symbol is on a 12. I'm going to change the size of my font to 32, and now let me come up here and get my symbol. So if it's not the correct size, you can adjust it by changing it right here. The other thing you can do, because this first one I did was not the right size, you see how it is 12. When I click on that, I can click here and I can adjust the size. So if you've already made it and it's not the correct size, and I'm going to move this around, I can also, I don't know if you noticed, but I can also adjust the color of this. Maybe I want it to be red. So lots of different things you can do with the symbols. Okay, now the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to see if you can insert a picture of your favorite animal. So you may want to pause the video long enough for you to insert a picture of your favorite animal. Where would you go to do that? If you guess that you would go to Add Media, you are correct. You're going to go down here. What I love about the Google search for the image here is that it's a safe search. So you don't have to worry about students getting into areas where they don't need to be. You can just get here. I'm going to do a search for, I'm going to do a hippo. Oh, there we go. And I'm going to insert my image. All of these are copyright friendly. I can crop it if I need to. There we go. All right, so there is my hippo. All right, so love using the Add Media. You can do lots of things here. You can add YouTube videos. You can add stuff that's in your Google Drive. You can take pictures with the camera that is on the device. So lots of things. All right, now, so that's just a few of the things that you can do. We haven't explored every tool that is available, but there's lots of just different things that students can do with Kami. All right, so I'm going to now switch to this. I want to show you, I'm inside Schoology, inside one of our courses that we taught this summer, and I want you to notice that I have a Kami assignment in here. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pretend now, first we're just going to look at it as an assignment. Then I'm going to show you how I put this assignment in here. The one thing about a Kami assignment that I like with the way we embed them now is that you can limit the tools that a student has available. So I have already inserted this. If I need to get back in here, there's two things I can do. I can click on here and then I can go in and edit the template that I gave the students to work on, or I can open the grader and start grading the assignments. Let's first look at edit template. So I'm going to go in here. This is the template that I shared with the students. All right. If I decided after I gave this to them that I realized they don't need this read aloud tool. Okay, maybe I'm trying to see if they can read the passage that I put on here, so I don't want them to be able to do this. I can adjust this by going up to these 3 lines, and then I'm going to go down to Schoology Settings. I'm going to go to Control Features, and I can toggle this off. When I do that and I scroll down and say Save, it's going to remove that option for the students. So think about our youngest learners. If I'm teaching kindergarten, maybe I am giving them a PDF that I want them to work on, but I only want them to use the markup tools. Maybe I want them to just use the drawing tools for that and the shape tools. So I could turn everything else off and only have it showing the tools that I want them to use. All right, so there's lots of things you can do there. With that, I'm going to just say okay and get out of that and cancel that out. All right, the other thing that I can do when I come in is I can open the grader. So when I do that, I would click on Open Grader, and you'll see that we have had several people turn these in. So I could quickly just come over here, click on, their name, look at their document, and what is cool is if I had actual live students in here, I could actually see them in here working. So then I could easily give them a grade and post the grade to them. So there's a couple of things you can do once you have added it in. Now, I want to show you how did I get this Kami assignment in here. So I'm going to go to Add Materials, and you're going to want to go to Kami. Do not go to Add an Assignment and select the Kami button that way, because if you do that, you do not have the option to limit their features and that sort of thing. So you want to make sure that you go to Add Materials and then you go to Kami. So I'm going to go to my Google Drive, and actually I think I'll just upload one from the computer instead of my drive, but I could have gotten one there. Let me see if I can find a PDF. Let's see. There's a PDF. Oh, there's the PDFs. Okay, so let me get this third grade story right here. And now, do you notice right here as I'm adding the assignment initially at the very beginning when I'm adding it, I can choose then to limit the tools if I wanted to. So that's what you would do as it's coming in. You would click here. Now, you could also do assessment mode, but I'm going to caution you about assessment mode. Assessment mode is not really a test per se. What assessment mode does is it limits them. It allows you to put a due date. And so the students have to submit by the end of that due date. It also only lets them get in there. Once they have hit submit, it locks them out of the document. It has a timer on there in that when you set that due date, it will show how many days left while they're in there. It'll show them how much longer they have to complete the assignment. The downside to it, I mean, it is a great tool, especially if you're wanting them to only see it one time or to work on it one time and then you want them to turn it in. But the downside is that if you set that due date and then you decide a week later that you want to extend the due date, it won't let you do that at this time. So I just want to caution you on that, because if there's a possibility you need to extend the assignment, you're not going to be able to do it if you've done assessment mode. But I'm going to leave it on this and I'm going to say continue. And it's going to add that assignment. You see it going in right there. And then this pops up. You want to make sure you keep Enable Grading turned on so you can do that grader. The reason you want to do that is if you're in Schoology, and this is going to be for my 3rd grade and up all the way through 12th grade, is if you have this Enable Grading turned on, when you put those grades in, it will go to the Schoology gradebook and you can upload that to Skyward. So I'm going to put a grading category and I'm going to say Save Changes. And now I have added that assignment to my Schoology course. Okay, so we've been looking at Schoology assignments with Kami, and we also did a little exploring with Kami and what it can do. Let's think about how you could use this in your classroom. I'm going to open this up and we're going to just look at some ways that you can use this. So one thing that you can do, especially for ELA, this is a great tool for you to use with the dictionary. Maybe you give them a list of words and you want them to go look up the definitions and do something with that. I love the closed reading exercises because this is a great way for kids to figure out context clues, to figure out what those words are in there. I'm loving the reading the documents aloud. That speech-to-text tool is great for our struggling readers. We all know that we occasionally get a student who is reading below grade level, This is a great support for that student. It's also a good support for our EL students, our dyslexic and SPED students as well. All right, and reading fluency. I like this because you could easily, like I just did with this document you saw a minute ago with the ant, the passage about the ant, you could have them record their voice, do a voice comment to record themselves reading, and it's a great way for you to do a fluency check on that student. Okay, so thinking about for math, the equation editor that's in there is a good tool for you to practice, especially with STAR and having to use the equation editor on STAR. It's good for you to give them a blank paper and have them open a blank page and then put a math problem up on the board and have the students record themselves a video of them solving that math problem so they could easily write it out. And what's cool is then when you watch the video, you can actually see them working the problem. So that's with the screen capture comments, because it will capture their annotations as they are doing it. Thinking about for science, labeling, inserting and labeling diagrams. Once again, there's the equations and those formulas, and using the webcam to record their lessons. Social studies, just a great way for you to do map skills. You could put maps in here and have them label and trace and do other things like that. For SPED, learn the new words with the definitions, because, giving our SPED students the support they need. That read aloud is a great support, and so is the dictionary feature. I love the alternatives to typing. Instead of them having to type a box, you could have the dyslexic students do voice comments to record their answers so that they're not penalized for their disabilities. Dark mode can be turned on for those with light sensitivity. Just lots of good ideas on supports for students. Thinking about our foreign language and our EL students. Speaking skills. We hear this every year that one of the main problems with TELPAS is that students are not getting enough practice speaking into that microphone. So when they record themselves, they're not speaking loud enough, they're not doing the recordings correctly, so they get marked down for that. So this is a great way for our TELPAS users to get practice. Thinking about foreign language, a lot of our TEKS for foreign language are really more of the conversational, being able to speak the language. Great way for them to record themselves speaking in those languages. All right, so let's go back out of here. And I want to show you another cool feature with Kami, and that is the ability to share a document with your whole class and them all be working in the document at the exact same time. So in this example that you're about to see, we did this in a class this summer, and you will notice that there are lots of people have been in this document. Remember, I was telling you some of the stickers are annotated. All right, so over here on the side, you can see that there were 16 people in this document. The other cool thing is when I click on someone's name, watch my screen, it will take what they just did away. So it shows me where they were working. Okay. Also, if I click on this, like this sticker right here tells me that this was CM, and you see the name that popped up there? So when I click and put my cursor there, it will tell me who was it that made that comment or that text on to a document. So easy to do to set this up so that they work collaboratively. Let me go back over to this blank document I had. I'm going to show you real fast how I was able to do that. Let's say that I wanted to share this document with all of my students. I would come up here to the top. First, I'm going to save it, but then I'm going to go to Share Document. When I click on that, it automatically sets this as the permissions. So you see anyone with the link can be an editor. Now I can change this if I want, but once again, I can adjust those control features of what they're going to be able to use when they open this document up. Once I have fixed the settings the way I want them, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click on copy, and it's going to give me this link, and this is the link that I would share and put inside of Schoology, which is what I did here. You'll see I added a link, and it was from here is where I got that link. All right, so just another way to work with your students by sharing, having them work collaboratively on a document. Now, a big thing I want to talk about now is the Kami library. So I'm going to get out of this document. I'm going to leave it, and the way I can do that is go up in the top left corner and just click where it says Kami. You'll notice right here it's showing me the recent documents that I was in. We already explored how to do the blank page. This is where you would go to upload a PDF that you would want to work on that maybe is stored on your computer or in your Google Drive. But over here on the right hand side are all of their current templates that are very popular. Oh, one more thing, as I scroll down just a little further, you'll see that there are video tutorials right here on how to do different things. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get to the whole library. I'm going to go ahead and click on Browse Templates. So I'm in here. I'm in my Kami library. I can filter this by typing in what I'm looking for, and here are some different subjects. So maybe I'm looking for something for math. So I'm going to put that there. And then maybe I only want some math for first grade. So it gave me some different templates that are on my grade level that I might want to assign to my students. Oh, and look at that. There is graph paper with blue grid lines that's in here. You can, add it to a collection over here so that you can easily find it as well. So that is how we use the Kami library. Let me go back to the Kami library for just a minute. So it's lots and lots of templates available right now. Here are some of their feature ones. There's are the trending ones that a lot of people are using. There's a digital notebook, end of year reflections. So lots of stuff that you can use with your students. And these are all available once you have signed in. You do need to be in your Klein Kami account So that's why we want you to install the extension and log in with your Klein credentials so that you're able to get to all of these wonderful resources. All right, so I hope you have seen some wonderful things that you can do with Kami. If you need some additional support, I'm going to tell you that you should go to our Klein digital learning website, which is, you're going to type in KISD.US/Digi, DIGI, learn. So Digi Learn stands for digital, but Digi Learn. I'm going to click enter, and here you can find our website. If you're looking for more support, we have listed on here our online courses that are currently going on, webinars, the on-demand support that you see here. If you're looking for some more resources on Kami, you could just go there and find that as well. The other thing you can do is up here in the top right corner, you can go to Campus Support. And you're scrolling in here. Here is digital learning. You can contact any of us to get support. And then if you're looking to see who supports your campus, you can scroll there and find your campus, and you will be able to find the person who you should contact for additional Kami support. So I hope you have enjoyed this video and you have learned lots of cool things about how you can use Kami in your classroom.